Hello everyone, my name's Finn and welcome to my journey towards a life closer to boat building and sailing. So I just want to start by apologising for the massive delay in getting this video released for you guys. Now I was due to start editing about 5 weeks ago on our return from our annual holiday. So after getting home and turning on the computer to make a start on editing this video, I discovered that Final Cut Pro, which is the software that I use to edit these videos, required a software update. Now, on following all of the on-screen instructions to update the software after spending about an hour waiting for it to download, I was sent a notification to say that the updated version of Final Cut Pro was not compatible with the outdated OS software that my Mac computer was running. So after doing a bit of research and talking to a couple of friends, I came to the conclusion that my outdated iMac just wasn't up to the standard for the video editing software that I use nowadays. Everything was just running at too higher of a level for my old iMac to cope with. So this left me with a bit of a predicament where I had to get on and get this video edited, but without a computer to run my editing software on, I was unable to do this. Now that only really left me with one option, and that is to update my computer. So having to make this decision, and with the cost of Apple products nowadays, to buy a new laptop, it meant that I was going to have to raise in the region of £3,000 to purchase the new laptop and some of the relevant components that would go with the new computer to help making my editing process easier. So part of the reason why it's taken me so long to get this video released is that I've had to take on some extra work in order to generate enough funds to be able to pay my monthly bills and then to be able to afford the purchase of a new laptop. So we're back and we're ready to get on with some work. So the first job is going to be drilling another hole through the boat in order to fit the bronze grated raw water intake down in the bilge just below the front of the engine. So to drill a 40mm hole through the boat, I'm going to be using a 40mm tungsten carbide tipped core drill that is fitted into my SDS drill, and that way having a core drill bit that goes through gives me a nice guide for then the 40mm hole saw to follow and bore a nice even hole through the boat. So let's get set up and drill another hole in the boat. Okay, so now I've got the bronze grated skin fitting fitted for the raw water intake for the engine coolant system. I've now got to fit the next 3 components that are going to be fitted onto the inside of this skin fitting, which are going to be made up of the first piece, which is a 90-degree elbow that's got a 1-inch BSP thread, and that will be fitted to the inside thread of the grated skin fitting. And that way then I'm angling my ball valve, which is the next part to fit to that. This will then be angling my ball valve towards the right location, so the pipe will be heading up towards the sea strainer, and I'll be able to locate the ball valve in a nice accessible location down here in the bilge just below the engine. So once I've got these two fitted in the correct orientation to make it nice and easy to be able to turn this ball valve on and off, I can then fit the 1-inch hose tail that goes into the other side of this ball valve that will then take the 1-inch pipe that will then take the 1-inch pipe that feeds my raw water cooling system. So here in the yard at the moment we have this beautiful 44-foot Whitstable oyster smack Emmeline. So she was built in 1904 at Collars Yard in Whitstable, and after finishing her working life she was converted to a yacht. Long story short, she was discovered on the Costa del Sol in 1992 in very poor condition, and therefore was loaded onto a low loader and transported back to Faversham to undergo an extensive rebuild. It's been really nice to see this boat out of the water here on the Hard in the boatyard, to have a good look around her and to take some photos and just to get some real inspiration, as the lines from this smack are very similar to the lines of the boat that I am rebuilding. It's time to get her craned back into the water to head back up to her mooring on the town quay, ready for this year's sailing season. So since the last episode and the huge generosity of so many of you guys that watched these videos and donated towards the project to help towards purchasing the electrical system and the 2 bespoke stainless steel water tanks that are going to be fitted down in the bilges of the boat underneath the saloon. So since the episode, I gave the go ahead to Uplands Sheet Metal Engineering, which are a local firm based only 10 minutes down the road from the shop here. And I have since been and collected the 2 shiny new bespoke water tanks that are going to be fitted into the boat. So I just want to say a massive thanks to John over at Uplands for knocking out some amazing tanks, and I was really impressed with how quickly they managed to get these done. So first things first, I've got to set up a block and tackle so I can hoist the tanks up onto the deck of the boat so we can lift them down into position and start measuring for pipes and getting them sitting in the correct location, ready to be fitted for the final time. So let's get these tanks up onto the deck of the boat. So now I've got both of the new water tanks dry fitted down into the boat, and I've just ran all of the connection pipes between the two tanks, just connecting them together so I know that I'm getting them sitting in the right place. And now they're all connected, I can start marking out for the strapping that's going to be used to hold these tanks down in place. But I'm also going to dry fit the filler hose, which is going to be this 1.5 inch diameter filling hose, which is going to run up the starboard side here, fairly close to this bulkhead, up in through the deck, and then I've got this solid bronze deck filler, and that will then get fitted down onto the deck, and this hose will come up on the inside of the boat, joining into this filler, and that is then where I'm going to be able to fill my water tanks from. So it feels really good to have the raw water intake through hole fitted in the boat, and to have the 90-degree elbow and the ball valve fitted to it, ready to take the 1-inch pipe to take the water supply up to the sea strainer. But that will get fitted in a much later episode when we start getting the engine connected up for the final time. And also to have the tanks dry fitted down into the bilge of the boat, and to have made a start getting all the pipe work run, so I can then mark out where all of the fixing tabs have got to be fitted onto the tanks. So they will then again be removed, so I can then take them back to Uplands and get the relevant fixing tabs welded onto the tanks. So I just want to take the time to say a massive thanks to all of you guys that have shown so much support and continued to support the project, even though there's been quite a delay in getting some of these videos released. Your continued support really is overwhelming, and I do not think I would be in the position I am today if it wasn't for all of you guys. So thank you all from the bottom of my heart. But that's about all I've got time for in this video. So if you'd like to find out how you can support the project, then head to the description below the video and I'll include all of the relevant links. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.